Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Salman, we've got the big fight tomorrow. The big fight. The fight that people have been waiting for almost 1 decade. Amir Khan v Kell Brook. This is our final prediction. Salman, you saw the weigh-in today. What did you make of it?
I think it was, what I expected really. I think, Kell Brook was just, trying to bluff Khan in the press conference that he was going to come overweight. I never thought he would come overweight, to be honest. I always thought he'd, come under the weight.
He's under, man. He was well under as well. It wasn't.
That's what I mean. And obviously Khan's naturally, he was probably there for quite a while, that sort of weight. So the weight wasn't really an issue. They both look good. A lot of people make too much of like having a six-pack and that they say, oh, Brook's body looks better, and that's all nonsense. I don't buy into that. Brook always looks like that. Khan always looks how he does. That's irrelevant. Because Brook always looks how he does. Like, it's nothing different. He always looks like that for every weigh, and so it's got nothing to do with anything, to be honest. I think Khan looks in great shape. I think he's up motivated for this fight. And, I think it's going to be fireworks tomorrow. I think both guys, they want it just as bad as each other. But we'll obviously see who the better fighter is. But I don't think you can really
I don't really think you can see who the better fighter is because of the fact that when the fight's happening, 35 years of age, both of them, you know what I mean? So it's not like they're gonna be the best that they've ever been, you know what I mean? Like Dave Colwell said, that I don't think this tells you anything who would have won in their peak. But in terms of like, a lot of people are picking Brook to win now, as the fight's getting closer. A lot of people are picking Brook to win this fight. The bookies have got him odds on favourite to win this fight, Salman. Do you agree that the bookies have got it right? And do you agree with a lot of people do you think that Brook will win this fight?
Bookies, obviously, they look at a lot of different things, but obviously they're looking at, Khan's obviously been put down a lot in his career. And, they're not going to have Khan the favourite, with Brook being a natural welterweight.
He was the favourite in their primes.
Who's?
Khan. He was the bookies' favourite to win 7-8 years ago when Brook won the title against Porter and Khan.
But obviously they're probably taking everything into consideration that, Brook's a big puncher. Obviously Khan's been out. He's 35 years old. He's been inactive. They probably think that it might not take, Khan might be taken out a lot easier, than what he would have done in his prime. But obviously the bookies are what the bookies are. They're gonna stay safe on their end. They always pick the safer bet, as in terms.
But Salman, the thing is, like, you're saying that it's logically Brook. Logically, Brook should win this fight. Like, when you look at it from logic point of view, are you trying to tell me that Khan's at this point more? You think the bookies have got that wrong? That prediction?
No, obviously, they've got to take into consideration that Brook shot 36 minutes to land something clean. So, obviously, of course,
I don't really buy that narrative of land something clean. I don't think Brook, is gonna, like, I don't buy that narrative of landing clean. I feel like, yeah, he'll land stuff, but I think Khan can take. It's not like as soon as Brook lands something, people make out like that's it, Khan's gonna fall over. Like, that I don't see it like that. But it's just the fact that over time, Amir Khan's speed is going to diminish. His attributes have diminished more. Like, Kell Brook relies on timing, power, and he's fighting a smaller man who relies on speed, movement. Right? Amir Khan in his prime had great fitness, great speed, great movement. Those things diminish over time, very quickly. And he's 35. And Amir Khan, as we know, don't have the greatest boxing IQ. Right? He doesn't have the greatest boxing IQ in the sense that he's not Terence Crawford. He's not Canelo Alvarez in the sense that those guys have very good ring IQ. Virgil Hunter's actually picking Amir Khan, but he did say that I think Amir Khan's physical, like, Amir Khan was never an IQ guy. I saw him on the Spencer Fearon podcast. He said Amir Khan was never an IQ guy. He was a guy that relied on his physical gifts. But those physical gifts are not going to be the same at 35, some man.
Yeah, of course. Obviously over time, your speed, your natural ability is obviously going to be a lot less than what it was 10 years ago. But, at the end of the day, they're both at similar stages of their career now, so it is an even fight. It's not like one guy's in the prime of his life and one guy's at the end of the road. They're both at similar stages of their career. So I think it's an even fight, to be honest. I don't think anyone has, the advantage over the other, to be honest, at this stage anyways. Seeing that they're both coming off, they're both being inactive and they're both 35-year-old. So at the end of the day, it's obviously people are viewing it as a 50-50 fight. A lot of people are thinking Brook's gonna knock Khan out. I've not actually seen many people say that they think Brook will outpoint Khan. Because I don't think they believe that this fight, I think that most people believe, the fight doesn't go 12 rounds. But I've seen some really, really weird things happen before.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, it's like when Fury came back and he fought Wilder, and no one really gave him a shot. They really said that, he can't go the 12 rounds. It's impossible. It was literally impossible at that point when he was made that weight loss. So you got to realize, the bookies can have it one way, but at the end of the day with Khan, it's gonna depend on what Khan shows up on the night. It's gonna be. I think personally, if he fights how he did against Samuel Vargas, I think he'll probably get knocked out. But it just depends what Khan shows up, how he shows up, what game plan he has. I personally think he's going to be smart in this fight. I think he's going to look to box. And if he does catch Brook and buzz him, then he'll, go in and go for the kill. But
I can see all scenarios, really. I can see all scenarios. I can see Khan knocking him out early. I can see Brook knocking him out early. I can see Khan knocking him out late. I can see Brook knocking him out late. I can even see it going to points. I can even see Brook winning on points. I can even see Khan winning on points. I know people think I think that anything's possible. I can even see a split decision draw or something.
The only thing I don't see is I don't see Brook winning on points. I just can't see the way. If it goes 12 rounds, I can't see him winning on points, to be honest. I don't think anyone can see Brook winning on points. Even Spencer Fearon was like, that if this goes 12 rounds, Brook's not going to win because he's just not going to win.
We're judging that on Amir Khan in his prime. Like, Amir Khan's no longer in his prime anymore.
But the thing is, it's not about being in his prime. His work rate's more. Even against Terence Crawford, if that Khan was to come against Brook, which I don't think will. I think this Khan's going to be a lot better, a lot sharper. He's going to want it a lot more. I think he'll outwork Brook. I don't think the best version of Khan, in my opinion, I think he beats Brook easily. I think even a 75% or 50% Khan can beat Kell Brook.
Look, I don't agree with you there.
We'll see tomorrow, innit? At the end of the day.
I don't agree. Look. Everyone knows I really want Khan to win this fight. Like, everyone that watched this video will know I really want Khan to win this fight badly. I really, really want him to win. Like, I really, really, like I said, want him to win this one. I went to the mosque today and it was like, just praying in the sense that I want him to win, because I just really want him to win. Like, it means, just like it might mean so much to him, it means so much to me. Like, I've been watching his whole career. He's got me into boxing, so I want him to win badly. It's not a case like badly. I'm saying badly. Like, I probably won't be normal for a month if he loses. You know what I mean? This is how much this means for me. Like, I don't think I'll ever be able to get over this if he loses this fight. That's how much, because I know what it means, and I know the narrative that's going to be spun if he loses, and that's why this will really deeply, deeply cut me if he loses this fight. So I really, really want him to win this fight badly. But you know what? At the end of the day, I've got to keep it real. And I think Brook wins. I do. And I'm saying that because I feel like Amir Khan's skill set would have diminished. I think his skill set would have diminished more. and I don't think his punch resistance at this stage is gonna improve. And listen, he may knock Brook out early. I won't be surprised if he knocks Brook out early. But the point is that I just feel that Brook, you know, is the bigger guy. You know, logic favors him, man. Logic favors him, and yeah, I want somebody to win, but I see it going in another direction. I see it going in another direction. I don't think. Look, I think if this fight happened in their primes, right, I would have favored Khan to win. I've said it all along, but it's not primes anymore. His skill set has diminished more. He's not the faster guy. He's fast, but he's slower now. His foot speed is slower. His fitness ain't gonna be the same at 35. You know, and I'm only going on logic. That's logic. That's common sense. It's not this, that, and the other. He's had great training. This is irrelevant. You can train all you want. If a 50-year-old trains hard, that doesn't mean they can come back and be at their best, right? It's logic tells you that Brook's gonna win this, but I don't know, man. What do you think?
I'm gonna stick to my guns. I personally think I think Khan's gonna beat him personally. And
yeah, but why are you saying that? I don't understand. Like, why are you confident that he's gonna beat him? What do you see? Like, what do you see? Like, what do you think he's gonna knock him out? Or do you think...
I just personally believe from Khan's experiences that he's had in his career, I just believe I think he's been through more than what Brook's seen through in the ring in terms of being in there with higher caliber fighters. And I think...
But why does that matter?
I personally think with Khan, he's always needed a fight to motivate him. When you look at him against Crawford, before that fight even happened, I didn't even give him a chance.
You know, man, here's the thing, right? Let me tell you this. Khan needs a fight to motivate him, yes, and he's going to be motivated for this fight. I totally agree with you. But that was in his prime. You know, like, that was in his prime. He was motivated for the Crawford fight. He just couldn't do it anymore because his body didn't allow to do the things that he could do in his prime. You can be as motivated as you want, right?
But Kell Brook's not no Crawford, though.
No, he's not. Of course, Kell Brook's not Crawford.
I personally, look, this is just how I see it. I've never rated Kell Brook that highly. The thing is, when you look at a fight, you've got to realize what the person's done in his career.
It's not about...
I'm not saying that, look, Kell Brook can go in and win.
It's not about, you keep saying that, it's not about rating Kell Brook. I'm not saying that Kell Brook's I've always said that I think Khan's the better fighter. I think he's done more. I think he's achieved more as an amateur. But I'm talking about this fight. I'm not talking about what they've done previously. What you got to realize, what they've done previously doesn't matter in this fight. Why does it matter? It's 35 years of age. Khan hasn't fought for 3 years. You can't go off what they've done 10 years ago. It's what's now at this point. This is a blank. There's a blank sheet of paper right now, you know? So that's just look, I don't know, man. So what are you picking then? Who are you picking?
I'm sticking to my guns. I think Khan's going to blitz him.
That's just a couple of rounds.
No, I'm not saying a couple of rounds, but I think the first half of the fight. Listen, if my prediction's wrong, you know, I'll come up and say that, all right, fair enough, Brook got the knockout. But I'm telling you now, right, if like early on, right, if Khan, like, you got to realize, you got to take this into consideration. The guy's got 2 smashed up eye sockets. And the way Khan fights, if he pings those eyes and any sort of swelling happens to those eyes, he's getting pulled out. I promise you, Hill's corner will pull him out and they will not go out on their shield that, like Brook goes on that, this is the biggest fight of my career, this, that, the other. But he's not, like, for example, I've seen fighters like Antonio Margarito. They were willing to go to any extent in the ring. Yeah, but there's a difference here.
The thing is,
Brook's not going to be willing to get knocked out cold if his eyes sockets are swollen.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Again, that only depends if Amir Khan can take him into that deep place. Do you know what I mean?
But what I'm saying is that that any swelling over that eye, that doesn't need to be from a big punch. You could jab that eye and it could mess up. But what my point is, he's got 2 eyes he needs to protect. You know, Khan, yeah, he suffered severe knockdowns and very bad knockdowns, but he has no, you know, face injuries or injuries that are. Kell Brook sustained some serious beatings against Spence. He was beaten up.
Why is that gonna matter in this fight?
That is gonna matter in this fight because if you know in the back of your mind that you need to protect both of your eyes, you're gonna be a lot more cautious. he's going to be a lot more cautious. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you're going to be cautious and not be yourself, right? And I think Kell Brook's very emotional for this fight. I think he's going to rush his work a lot. He's not going to, you know, stick to his, I think Kell Brook's going to rush in this fight because he wants to just take Khan's chin off. He's been keep going on a bit that he's got a poppadom chin, he can't take a shot, but that's for him to prove. And I think he's going to rush his work, personally. That's just what I think.
So what are you saying then? You're saying...
I think Khan will beat him. And I think if the pressure gets put on Brook, although yes, we all know it's not anything new. If Khan gets hit, yeah, he could get knocked out. But I'm also saying this, that if the pressure gets put on Brook, he will also be gone as well. Brook's not. You got to realize, yeah, he might have been tough, resilient in the Spence fight, Golovkin fight, but at the end of the day, when the pressure got put on, he gave in. So the first big fight of his career, he got. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, here's the thing. Like, for me, like, look, I want Khan to win, but if you're asking me logically, I think Brook probably wins. I think Brook will win, in my opinion. I hope I'm wrong, you know, but I think he'll win the fight. I think Amir Khan's skill set would have diminished more. I think Brook's always had the better chin, let's be brutally honest, out of the two. He's the bigger guy.
Yeah, he's had the better chin, of course.
Whether he has the better chin at this point, I'm not sure. He may, you know, his chin might be just as bad, but going off the fact that Brook's the bigger puncher, I think Brook might win. I think Brook might take this one. But like I said, out of the two, what I will say is this: like, although I'm making that prediction, and Salman's going with Amir Khan, logically, you'd say Brook at this point.
One thing I will say as well, that I've seen Khan being in fight, although people say he has not a good chin, I've seen Khan being in fights against elite fighters, right, and take punishment and come through it, go through the 12 rounds. I've seen Brook fight elite fighters and get finished. You know what I mean? So when the pressure gets put on,
these two are not elite fighters right now. Like, these are not elite fighters. Amir Khan's not.
Yeah, but I'm saying even Kell Brook in his prime, like when he fought Spence, that was in his prime.
No, you don't understand what I'm saying. These two, it's not like these two are elite fighters. We're going off now. These two are like maybe not even European level. We don't know where they're at in their careers. You know, like Sammy.
Yeah, I heard Avanesi, and he was like that. He was going to fight Khan. He wanted to fight Khan, but that's just what I heard.
But what I mean is that, like, we don't know at this point. You know what I mean? We're going off right now.
Yeah, no, the thing is, at the end of the day, until the first bell goes, we're just making predictions. For all we know, Khan could be completely shot, has no speed at all, and he's just target practice. So I don't know. I'm only making a prediction.
So we've both got different predictions. But what I will say is this: like, I obviously want Khan to win, but I think I favor Brook to pull this one off. But what I will say, out of the two, if you were to ask me who I think is the more special of the two and who's more capable of doing something that you know, unique, and you know, doing something that's unexpected, out of the two, I wouldn't be surprised. Out of the two, like, I would say that Amir Khan is probably the one that is more unique and more capable of pulling something special off. You know, because I've always felt that Amir Khan's more naturally talented than Brook.
Oh yeah, but like, for example, like throughout their whole career, although this doesn't mean this has got no relevance to this fight, but throughout their whole career, including the amateurs and the professionals, you got to say, you know,
that's why, look,
like in the amateurs, Khan, obviously everyone knows, achieved a lot more than Brook because he was better, and in the professionals, he achieved more than Brook because he was better. But this doesn't mean that Khan's going to win this fight, because it depends how much he's got left in the tank. But his career has been a lot more successful.
Look. I always felt Muhammad Ali was better than Joe Frazier. I felt Manny Pacquiao was better than Juan Manuel Marquez, right? But at the end of the day, that those fights were all close. You know, they were all close, and Frazier beat Ali. You know, I know Ali beat twice, but they were very close. And look at Manny Pacquiao Marquez. A lot of people think that Marquez won all of those fights. You know, but we all know Pacquiao was better. But sometimes styles make fights. This would have always been a tough fight for Khan. It would have been easy. You know, even though
I personally think, like, the fight, like, in terms of the way it'll play out, you know, I think it'll be very cagey to start to open up with. I don't think they're going to be. I think from both ends, from both sides, I think they'll be very cagey for the first couple of rounds. I don't think there'll be much action, and then obviously then it'll start to brew up a bit later. I think, but I think it'll be very cagey early on, very very cagey. It might even be boring for the first couple of rounds. It might not be much in it. They might throw a few jabs, this, that, the other, but I don't think it will be very. I think it'll be very cagey because they know what's at stake, and they know that both of them know they can't afford to make mistakes in this fight. They've got to be on it. That's what I think.
So yeah, there you go. There are predictions. I haven't felt that this weird for a fight for a very long time. Mate. I feel a bit uncomfortable as well. Probably because I'm emotionally invested in this.
It's like all of us, isn't it?
Yeah,
obviously, I'm supporting Khan. You're supporting Khan. That's just what it is.
Yeah, but the thing is though, if he loses this fight, this is gonna be horrible. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like any other
To
fight.
be honest, with me, like for example, just say it would hurt me more if he's literally dominating the fight and then gets knocked out. If he just goes in and gets knocked out, like he just was finished, I wouldn't be that. I would just be like, all right, he was shot, he was finished, he wasn't the same fighter. But if he is winning this fight and looking good and then just gets hit with a shot and gets knocked out, like when he fought Canelo, I was devastated because he was actually doing very, very well in that fight, and I thought maybe this just
the Canelo. This means a lot more. This means a lot more because we know
bragging rights.
This is a lot more, and the thing is, I know the narrative that's going to be spun in terms of, Kell Brook was always better, and you know what I mean. That's obviously going to be said if he ends up beating, Amir Khan, and that's why I hope that Khan gets his just due, because out of the two, I feel like he's put in the more body of work. But then you could also say that Khan's ducked Brook as well. He's avoided the fight for a while.
I don't agree with that.
Why?
Because the reason why I don't agree with that is because I agree with it when he signed with Eddie Hearn. I think then he was probably trying to duck the fight. Yeah. But when he was in America, fighting in America, you got to realize they wanted to fight in America. I think that fight could have happened, but Brook would have had to, he would have had to sign with Al Heyman or sign with Oscar
I don't think so, because that fight was never going to happen in the US, was it? That was a UK fight. That was never going to happen in the US.
No, but what my point is that, for example, the welterweight champion at that point was Devin Alexander, right? Khan was going to fight Devin Alexander, but didn't sign because obviously he thought he was going to fight Mayweather. So, actually, if you look at it, Khan should have he should have, like, I think he won the Ring magazine as well at one point, but he would have beaten Devin Alexander at that point and become a welterweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
And Brook would have never got his chance. If Brook wanted to fight,
he would have got his chance. He would have got his chance because he probably would have been mandatory.
Yeah, it would have been mandatory. But let's not get mistaken. When Porter fought Devin Alexander,
yeah, but
that was
Khan
a split decision.
Khan would have had to.
Was that a split decision?
I know it was Porter won unanimous. I think it was 115, 113, something like that.
Fair enough, but then we obviously, Porter wouldn't have been a world champion because obviously Khan would have obviously beaten Devin Alexander, which I would have been quite confident to say he would have. And then Brook would have fought Khan then. But I just think obviously Khan was chasing Mayweather, and then obviously that's obviously messed up Brook, because if Brook was mandatory, then Khan would have had to fight him, or he would have had to relinquish the belt at that point. So I think, sometimes things happen, where it stops the fight from happening. But over the last 4 years, once Khan signed with Hearn, I thought he was trying to avoid it. And, although he always wanted to fight the bigger names, like the Crawford fight came up and he thought that if I beat Crawford, the Kell Brook fight's always going to be there. And it is there at the end of the day. They're fighting tomorrow now, and, let's see. But
who are you picking then?
I'm going with my guns. I'm picking Khan. I'm picking Khan for the KO. I think Crawford, has obviously come in. I think obviously Crawford isn't going to be able to, change Khan as a fighter, but I think he'll obviously be giving him pointers that, these are the type of things you need to look for, and, little things like that. And maybe this sort of camp Khan may have needed this at this point, to get himself up for this fight and get himself in the best physical condition. Maybe he didn't feel like, with other trainers, he would have got the best out of him at that point for this specific fight. But let's see what happens tomorrow night. But I'm sticking to my prediction that I made 2 months ago. I feel that Khan's going to stop him.
All right, guys. Yeah, like I said, I want Khan to win, but I feel like, just to end it on this, I feel like that at this stage right now, me looking at it on a non-biased situation, I have to side with the bookies here and pick Kell Brook. And I'm doing that, like, it's very difficult to do that because, as you guys know, I really like Amir Khan, but I just think that I just think that at this point, I don't know what Amir Khan's got left. And I don't really, like, I can't even believe I'm picking Brook because it just feels like horrible to do it. But I just favour him. I just favour him to probably just, you know, I'm just edging towards Brook to win this one. But I hope I'm wrong, you know. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And let me know what your predictions are. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.